Hello Commanders, and welcome to another tutorial flight school video for Elite Dangerous on Xbox One. This is Commander Hoochie, and as I was watching through and reviewing my other video about the galaxy map, I realized that there were a couple things that I didn't make extremely clear, and I was hoping to do a little more video and a little more in depth in the galaxy map because it can be confusing at first. I know it confused me initially. So that's what these training videos are for people that are just coming into the game and haven't quite learned all the ins and outs of the systems yet. So I'm sitting out here just outside Rushworth Station, one of my home bases, for a little while as I prepare for my journey to the center of the galaxy, Sagittarius A, that's going to take place later on, that I plan to chronicle and put on YouTube as well. Hope you'll enjoy that when it happens. But as I prepare for that, getting to know and use the galaxy map becomes very important any kind of time you take a trip like that. So I want to jump in here and cover a couple of things a little bit better than I did earlier, and hopefully will clarify a few things. And really, one of the main things I want to talk about is specifically concerning, how to really navigate this map as easily as possible. So as you can, if you'll remember, we use the right stick to rotate around, and we use the left stick to move, side to side along the plane that we're currently on. If we tap X, we use the left stick to move up and down. And you'll see that I can see around me, really thousands of stars and, a couple hundred names maybe. If I zoom even farther out, I can start to see, wow, there's a lot of stars around here, right? But I can't seem to, I can't select these. What seems to be the problem? I'd love to try to select Remini's or Valtes or Tasheter Sector CG XA12 or some of these places, but I can't seem to select them. Well, the problem is, and something that took me a little while to learn, is you have to be zoomed in far enough on the map to cause these systems to have these little, cyan tails with dots appear. Okay? Once those appear, you're zoomed in far enough where you'll be able to select these systems and actually look at them. So for instance, if I now wanted to look at Marson, I can select it, like this, and then I can press A, and it'll take me right to that system. And I can look at it, I can rotate around it, and I can see what's around in any direction. Voila, that's how it works. So if you're zoomed either too far out or even too far in, sometimes you can't select some of the systems that you want to. Now, I can select these, but if I pull back out, you'll see that selection goes away. I can select it, I can't select it. I can select it, I can't select it. See how that works? So, using a combination of zooming in and then using tapping X to move up and down, I can select stars that are above me, below my horizontal plane, and then I can move on that horizontal plane and really select anything on this plane within a certain number of light years, both up and down. And you'll see if I move up a little bit, the tail here for Kapukanga gets smaller and smaller and smaller until it runs into the system, but then it flips and it gets longer and longer and longer and then it disappears, and now I can no longer see or select Kapukanga. I have to go back down, and now, I could, if I press X, I could select that. I could press A, I'm there. I could plot a route, and now I can take a look and I can see that it's 10 jumps. It take me 10 jumps to get to Kapukanga from where I'm at now. So that's really good information to know about the galaxy map and how to use it, how to navigate it using your X button to tap and go up and down. But the key, of course, is to be zoomed in far enough to be able to select these little cyan dots that are connected to each of the systems. Okay, so that's important, but another very important thing is mapping your route throughout the galaxy. So if I go to the navigation tab, and what I'm doing is I'm hitting right bumper and left bumper over here to navigate these tabs. If I go to the navigation tab, one thing I'll point out is the search. Now the search function in Elite Dangerous is not highly intelligent, is how I will put it. I guess you could say it's kind of stupid. If you don't put the word in exactly, it's very difficult for it to find what you're looking for. For instance, if I want to go to Valtes, V8, and that's one of my home bases right now as I prepare for, my travels to the center of the galaxy, I've got to spell it correctly. If I spell it correctly, bam, it's going to go straight there, but it's got to be spelled exactly like the game thinks it's spelled. If I make any kind of a mistake in the spelling of that at all, then it's not going to be able to find Valtes for me. So if you find a place that you really want to go to, it behooves you to jot the name of that place down exactly as you have been able to find it. For instance, this one right here, I couldn't remember this spelling for the life of me. Imutrimuja. You know, it's an exploited star system by Pranav Vantau. I could not remember that, so usually the best thing for me to do until we get the next update, which hopefully will allow us to bookmark important star systems that we'd like to keep track of, is I'll take a screenshot of this using my, the screenshot function on the Xbox, or I will actually sometimes just snap a photo of where I would like to remember with my cell phone. And that way I have it right next to me all the time. And if oh, hey, I want to go back to that one place where, they had that really good resource extraction site where I was mining a lot of bounties, and what was the name of that place? I can pull up my cell phone and look, and there it is. Then I can type it in correctly over here and find it. Now if I want to look at my current location, I'll press A right here. I'm using the up and down on the D-pad to select this, so I'll press A, and that's going to take me back and show me exactly where I am at this moment. If I look at selected location, it'll be listed here, and I press A, it'll take me back and show me that. So I can really quickly, toggle back and forth between those two locations using that function. One of the most important things in here, I think, though, is to look at the jump data. Okay, now currently I have fastest routes selected, and if we look at fastest routes and I start looking at this, you'll notice that this first jump here is pretty long, and I'm jumping up here to this star, and then I'm jumping up to another star up here, and then I'm jumping way up here, and then I'm jumping up here, and this is all to go to Capuconga. Now those are some long jumps. In my Vulture, that would be very difficult for me because I don't have a huge gas tank in my Vulture. And not only that, there may be stars along the way when you select fastest routes. When you select fastest route, there may not be scoopable stars. For instance, if we go into the map here and I choose a filter, you can filter by lots of different things in the map. If I choose to filter via a star class, currently I have the stars that you can scoop from highlighted, and we remember that with an acronym. It's called KGB FOAM. KGB foam. KGB foam. Those are the stars I can scoop from. So I have those highlighted so they show up on my map. If I highlight all the rest of these stars, you're going to notice a lot of other stars start popping in. But those stars are not scoopable stars. I will not be able to gather fuel from those stars. Okay. So when you plot your route, a lot of times it behooves you, even though it's going to take more jumps, is to use an economical route, which will take shorter jumps and more than likely plot you through star systems that will be scoopable stars or have more bases where you could at least buy fuel if you need to do so. You'll notice this route is much more complicated than the other one, and involves many more jumps and is really quite convoluted, but I can be assured that it's more economical and that my likelihood of finding fuel on that route is better than it would have been on the fastest route if I selected that. We'll talk about FSD boost in another video. We're going to need to devote an entire video to that. But anyway, that's just, that's something really to remember in terms of deciding where we want to jump. Now, before I end this video, I do want to say another word again about, these filters. They're very handy as far as I'm concerned, especially when you get out in exploration, to make sure that you can find stars so that you don't get stranded out there and have to call the fuel rats. Remember KGB foam, as long as you have those highlighted, any star that shows up on the map right now is a scoopable star that you can get fuel off of. And I know that because I've only got those selected at this time, so that's really good to know. I can also sort by economy, I like to sort by high tech sometimes because I know that high tech locations will have better access to ship outfitting parts and things like that. But I might need to find, if I'm doing some trading and I need to find some industrial item or an agricultural item or something like that, it might behoove me to come in here and change these and look at it that way. I can also sort in terms of government. Not really sure how that's going to help me at this time. Might help me if I need to find a specific kind of mission or bounty or something like that. But allegiance is more helpful. Like for instance, right now I have some bounties in Alliance that I need to turn in, and as you can see, I've only got Alliance checked right now. So the only stars that I'm going to see on this map are Alliance stars, and as you can see, wow, there aren't any here. You know, let's zoom out a little bit and see if we can find. Oh, there we go. They start popping up. So here we go. Now I've found some stars that are Alliance, and if I zoom on in, I'll be able to select those as I talked about earlier. So let's say I want to go here. Here's a population of 10 billion. This would probably be a great place to go. It does require a system permit at the bottom though, so I don't have that system permit. I can't enter this system without that permit. So let's look at a different one. Let's look here. Here we go. Here's a place with 581,000 population. It's probably not a great place to go, but if I wanted to map a route to there, I could do so, and hopefully the vulture that I'm in will be able to get there, and I can go turn in those Alliance bounties because I know that this is an Alliance star because I sorted, like I said, by allegiance right here, and I just checked off Alliance. Okay, if I start clicking these, I'm going to see that other stars start popping in, and now the whole galaxy is full of stars because they're allied to different people. Alright, so these filters can be very powerful once you learn how to use them. Same is true for the trade routes down here. I have, if I select this right here, you're going to see a bunch of stuff pop up, and I'm not a trader by any stretch of the imagination, and they're not popping up now because I'm not a trader, and I'm not really carrying anything, and I'm not trying to move anything around. But these could be very important for you as well in terms of finding certain things and finding trade routes in order to sell things. All right. So that's just a couple of things I wanted to go back and really point out in terms of navigating this map, because it took me, when I first came in and started playing around with this map, you zoom out and you realize, holy cow, that's the entire galaxy right here, and it can be somewhat overwhelming, especially when you come into this area right here and you see how many stars there truly are in the center of our Milky Way galaxy. It's unbelievable to me. But in order to select any of these stars and look at them, I have to be zoomed in close enough to be able to do so. Here's a star that's 25,688 light years away. Now I can't plot a route because my jump drive won't get me there, and there's no detail. Most likely nobody's ever visited this star, and that's the thing. There's so many in here that it's going to take thousands and thousands of years for them to all be visited. But that's one of the great things about this game. So get to use the galaxy map. It'll become your best friend, especially when you start doing all that exploration that I know some of you, like myself, want to do. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave any questions in the comments below. And remember, Commanders, fly safely.